The Spanish Armada of 1588 is a pivotal event in European history, marking a turning point in naval warfare and the balance of power between nations. The Armada, assembled by King Philip II of Spain, was a formidable fleet designed to invade England and overthrow Queen Elizabeth I. This operation was both a strategic and religious undertaking, as it sought to re-establish Catholic dominance in Protestant England. However, due to a combination of unfavourable weather, tactical missteps, and the resilient English defence, the Spanish Armada met its ultimate fate as a failed expedition. The significance of the Spanish Armada's fate extends beyond its immediate military objectives. It marked a decline in Spain's naval supremacy and heralded the rise of England as a major maritime power. This shift in naval dominance had far-reaching implications for global exploration and colonization efforts, influencing the course of European expansion and competition for centuries to come. The Armada's failure also reinforced Protestant resistance against Catholic hegemony in Europe, shaping the continent's religious and political landscape. An illustrative example of the Armada's impact is the development of the English Navy. The defeat prompted significant advancements in naval technology and tactics, ultimately enabling England to establish a vast overseas empire. Another example is its influence on Spanish military strategy, leading to a re-evaluation of maritime operations and the allocation of resources toward maintaining maritime security in the Mediterranean. Supporters of the notion that the Armada's defeat was a turning point emphasize how it altered the trajectory of European politics and religion. They argue that it underscored the vulnerabilities of even the most powerful nations and highlighted the importance of adaptable strategies and superior naval capabilities. Conversely, some historians argue about the potential exaggeration of the Armada's significance. They suggest that Spain's decline was gradual and influenced by other factors, such as economic challenges and internal strife. Additionally, the notion of the Armada as an invincible force is sometimes challenged, with debates over whether its defeat was as decisive as commonly portrayed. The fate of the Spanish Armada is intrinsically linked to the broader narrative of European power dynamics and maritime history. It influenced subsequent naval conflicts and encouraged nations to prioritize naval supremacy. Furthermore, the Armada's demise set the stage for future interactions between England and Spain, as well as other European powers, ultimately shaping the geopolitical landscape of the early modern period. The story of the Armada serves as a compelling example of how a single event can alter the course of history through its immediate and long-term consequences. Heading 1588, how a shipwrecked Spanish Armada captain escaped from Ireland. After the Armada highlights a fascinating historical episode involving the Spanish Armada, which was a fleet sent by King Philip II of Spain in an ill-fated attempt to invade England. Following the Armada's defeat, many ships were wrecked along the coast of Ireland, a country at the time under English rule, but with local populations often sympathetic to Catholic Spain. The survival and escape of a shipwrecked captain from such dire circumstances exemplify the resilience and resourcefulness of individuals during this tumultuous period. The significance of this story within the broader context of the Spanish Armada lies in its illustration of the human element amidst grand historical events. While much focus is often placed on naval battles and political consequences, the personal tales of survival and escape add depth to our understanding of history, highlighting the chaos and unpredictability of naval warfare. A notable example is the escape of Captain Francisco de Cuellar. After his ship ran aground on the Irish coast, he managed to navigate hostile terrain and political landscapes, ultimately finding refuge and assistance from sympathetic Irish locals. His story, documented in a letter he wrote upon reaching safety, provides a vivid account of the challenges faced by survivors. Another real-world case involves the broader fate of Spanish sailors who, despite being marooned in a foreign and often hostile land, found varied fate and assistance from sympathetic Irish locals. His story, documented in a letter he wrote upon reaching safety, provides a vivid account of the challenges faced by survivors. Another real-world case involves the broader fate of Spanish sailors who, despite being marooned in a foreign and often hostile land, found varied fates ranging from execution by English forces to integration into Irish society. Supporters of this idea argue that these survival stories highlight the interconnectedness of European politics and the complex relationships between Spain, Ireland, and England. They emphasize how individual actions influence larger historical narratives, shaping perceptions and alliances in subtle ways. However, this perspective is not without its challenges. Critics might point to the romanticization of these stories, often overlooking the harsh realities and brutal treatment many of the Armada survivors faced. Controversy also arises from differing nationalistic narratives. Spanish accounts might emphasize resilience and ingenuity, while English narratives could focus on the Armada's defeat and the implications for national security. Nonetheless, these individual stories of escape and survival interconnect with broader themes of cultural exchange and conflict in post-Armada Europe, shedding light on how human experiences bridge larger historical divides. This aspect of the Armada's legacy underscores the multifaceted impact of this pivotal historical event, influencing local histories and international relations alike. The phrase, "the wreck of the Armada" off the Irish coast, refers to the disastrous fate of several ships from the Spanish Armada that, after being defeated by the English Navy in 1588, attempted to return to Spain via the treacherous waters around the British Isles. The Armada, commissioned by King Philip II of Spain, was a massive naval fleet intended to invade England, but faced catastrophic storms that scattered its ships. A segment of the story centers on those vessels that were wrecked along the rugged, storm-laden Irish coast. The significance of these shipwrecks is profound, not merely as a tale of maritime disaster, but as a pivotal moment affecting European geopolitics. The failure of the Armada marked the decline of Spanish naval dominance and the rise of England as a major sea power. Furthermore, the presence of Spanish shipwrecks along Ireland's west coast has been woven into Irish folklore, highlighting the deep historical connections between Spain and Ireland during this era. Examples of how this point plays out in real life are abundant. First, archaeological explorations have uncovered several of these wreck sites, with discoveries of cannons and other Armada artifacts providing invaluable insights into 16th century maritime warfare and shipbuilding. Second, the cultural legacy left by the survivors, who allegedly integrated into Irish society, is said to have influenced local communities, contributing to what some theorists term the Black Irish, with supposed Spanish lineage evident in certain Irish populations. Opinions on the significance of these wrecks often emphasize their role as a symbol of resilience and adaptability. Some historians argue that these shipwrecks serve as a crucial turning point, highlighting the relentless force of nature and its impact on human ambitions. However, this narrative is not without its controversies. The true number of ships that wrecked and the fate of their crew remain fiercely debated among historians, with various accounts differing significantly. Some propose that the integration of Spanish sailors into Irish society is more legend than fact, lacking substantial historical evidence. This event influences other aspects of the Armada story, as it underscores the broader theme of unintended consequences in warfare. The wrecks echo the broader failure of the Armada campaign, illustrating how misfortune and miscalculation can drastically alter the course of history. This connection to the main topic advances an understanding of how naval warfare failures had wide-reaching implications, shaping the political and cultural landscapes of both Spain and the British Isles. In 1588, the Spanish Armada, a formidable maritime force deployed by King Philip II of Spain, faced a catastrophic defeat at the hands of the English Navy. However, it wasn't just the ferocity of battle implications, shaping the political and cultural landscapes of both Spain and the British Isles. In 1588, the Spanish Armada, a formidable maritime force deployed by King Philip II of Spain, faced a catastrophic defeat at the hands of the English Navy. However, it wasn't just the ferocity of battle that led to the Armada's downfall. Nature also played a crucial role as fierce storms ravaged the fleet, forcing many ships off course and causing numerous wrecks along the rugged coast of Ireland. A fascinating tale from this disastrous chapter in history involves a Spanish captain who was shipwrecked and miraculously escaped from Ireland, a country full of turbulent tensions and political intrigue. This episode holds significant historical importance, as it highlights not only the perils faced by the crew after their naval defeat, but also the geopolitical complexities of the time. And under English control was a place of rebellion and resistance. A shipwrecked Spanish captain there could have faced execution or imprisonment, aligning with the English efforts to quash any Catholic Spanish influence supporting Irish rebels. Thus, a successful escape would not only be a tale of personal survival against the odds, but also a symbol of resistance and resilience in a hostile territory. A notable example of this theme is Captain Francisco de Cuellar, who, according to historical accounts, navigated through the unfamiliar and perilous terrain of Ireland, relying on the sympathies of local Irish communities who harboured anti-English sentiments. His story is a vivid testament to the diplomatic and survival skills needed to evade capture, find allies, and ultimately make his way back to Spain. Another example is the general plight of Armada shipwreck survivors who assimilated into Irish society. Some even intermarried and influenced local communities, adding a layer of cultural exchange to the narrative. Opinions supporting this narrative often romanticize these escapes as acts of bravery and cunning, underscoring the shared resistance between the Spanish and the Irish against a common enemy, the English crown. However, challenges to this view exist. Some historians debate the notion of mutual sympathy, suggesting practical